By the authority given in the statutes of the Open University, I declare this congregation open for the conferment of degrees and the presentation of graduates. Distinguished guests, graduates, and friends of the university, it is my privilege and pleasure to welcome you all to the 7th of the Open University's degree ceremonies being held in 2017. We are delighted to welcome the Mayor and Mayoress of Ely, who have found time in their very busy diaries to be with us today. And it is also my great pleasure to welcome our Honorary Graduand, Professor Mary Beard. We are delighted to be able to honour her today. During the past year, the Open University has awarded over 20,000 qualifications, ranging from Certificate of Higher Education to Doctor of Philosophy. Throughout 2017, more than 8,000 graduates are being presented for their qualifications at degree ceremonies such as this one today in Ely. These are being held in 12 different towns and cities throughout England and also in Belfast, Cardiff, Edinburgh and Dublin. This illustrates the extraordinary scale, scope and reach of the Open University. I have to say, though, I can't imagine that many of the venues are as spectacular as this one we're in today. It goes without saying that today is a very important occasion in the life of you, our graduates, your families and loved ones, as well as the university staff, who I hope you will feel have nurtured and supported you. In fact, you could be forgiven for thinking that this occasion is so important that it needs to be solemn. And you'd be quite wrong. In every sense, today is about a celebration. So we will all be really disappointed if anyone crosses the stage today to anything less than thunderous applause or whatever other noisy way you choose to express your enthusiasm and support. So with that in mind, let's see how loud we can be. Could all of today's graduates briefly stand, please? Friends, families, Open University staff, let's start today's ceremony by giving our amazing graduates a fantastic round of applause. Thank you. Now we've started the embarrassment of you all for the day, you can sit back down again. Long may it continue. So there's one more way that you can show your appreciation to your graduates. If you are posting any messages or photos from around the cathedral, outside on the lawns today, anywhere on social media, if you would use the hashtag #OU_ceremonies, you'll be able to share your congratulations and celebrations with lots of staff from the OU, colleagues and alumni around the world, as well as everyone here at the ceremony. So we're going to start today's ceremony with a presentation of graduates who have been awarded higher degrees and first degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Engineering and Bachelor of Laws, who have been able to attend the ceremony here today. And they will be presented by Dr. Troy Cooper, who is Head of School in the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences. Once we've awarded those first presentations, we will then give the honorary degree of Doctor of the University to Professor Mary Beard. Professor Phil Perkins, who's Professor of Archaeology in the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, will present Professor Beard, who will sign the honorary graduate book here and make a reply to us all. Following that, we will continue our presentation of graduates with our Bachelor of Science degree, Foundation degree and Diplomas of Higher Education for all those graduates who've been able to attend here today. And to conclude the ceremony, I'll give a personal address to the graduates. So I now call upon Dr. Cooper to present the graduates.
Executive Dean, I will now present graduates who have gained higher degrees and have been able to attend here today. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled Synthesis of Advanced Hybrid Polymeric Nanomaterials and Characterization of Novel Silsesquioxanes with Desirable Hydrophobic Coating Properties, and for the degree of Master of Business Administration, I present to you Delphine Aubin. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, I present to you for a thesis entitled Franchising Heritage, the Creation of a Transnational Heritage Industry in the Emirate of Abu Dhabi, Serena Wakefield. For the degree of Master of Philosophy, I present to you for a thesis entitled Tracing Star Formation Around QSOs with Polycyclic Aromatic Hydrocarbons, Lawrence Bilton. For the degree of Master of Arts in Art History with distinction, I present Sophia Sharp. For the degree of Master of Arts in Education, I present Suzanne Chandler. Edmund Kitto. Suzanne Long. William Powell. Victoria Spears. Philippa Wills. For the degree of Master of Arts in English with distinction, I present Susan Nayland. Michael Terry. For the degree of Master of Arts in English, I present Daniel Hill. Laura Holford. Samantha Mann. Leslie Scott. Catherine Simpson-Jacobs. Angela Stenhouse. For the degree of Master of Arts in History with distinction, I present Mark Cleaver. Bob Ward. Vera Williams. For the degree of Master of Arts in History, I present Christine Wansbury. For the degree of Master of Arts in Music with Distinction, I present Barry Sanders. For the degree of Master of Arts in Music, I present Christopher Beaumont. For the degree of Master of Arts in Philosophy, I present Russell Pond. For the degree of Master of Arts in Religious Studies, I present Susanna Stevenson Knight. For the degree of Master of Business Administration, I present David Backham. Catherine Chambers. Sophie de Jonquière. Oliver Falconbridge. Darren Ingles. Nigel Meddings. Philip Muskamp. Yaroslav Salech. Suki Thorogood. Rebecca Willers. Emma Williams. For the degree of Master of Education, I present Jennifer Astuvasadorian. Laura Scott. Jessica Stokes. Jennifer Windle. For the degree of Master of Science in Advanced Networking, I present William Barber. For the degree of Master of Science in Advancing Healthcare Practice with Distinction, I present Nicola Walters. Barbara Jeffery. For the degree of Master of Science in Computing for Commerce and Industry, I present Rachel Allcroft. For the degree of Master of Science in Earth Science, I present Caroline Harvey. Small. Graham Womack. For the degree of Master of Science in Environmental Management, I present Liaka Sauer. For the degree of Master of Science in Medicinal Chemistry, I present Galina Hollands. For the degree of Master of Science in Science and Society with distinction, I present Rachel Ward. And for the degree of Master of Science in Science and Society, I present Kelly Oughty. Fiona Calver. Graham Miller. For the degree of Master of Science in Technology Management, I present Rebecca Tovey. Executive Dean, I shall now present graduates who have gained Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Engineering and Bachelor of Law degrees and have been able to attend here today. The full subject details are printed in the insert within the ceremony programme. I present, for the degree of Bachelor of Arts with First Class Honours, Kate Barnard. Robert Bylett. Peter Cross. Pippa Doran. Lynn Fortan. Paul Green. Kim Hetherington. Catherine Howe. Julie Ireland. Jodie Macklin. Anna Martin. David Platt. Judith Shoesmith. Paul Paxton. Stephen Smee. Stuart Sterling. Martin Wade. I present for the degrees of Bachelor of Arts with First Class Honours and Bachelor of Science with First Class Honours, Claire Strongman. Lara Scott. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts with Honours, I present Gemma Angier. Alison Aquilina Evans. Claire Berry. Carlos Brito. Angela Brown. Christina Buck. Mark Childs. Felicitas Chogagudza. Joanne Clark. Gemma Doyle. Raul Escobar Franco. Luke Etheridge. Octavia Forrest. Siobhan Gaskins. Zoe Hogg. Amy Horde. Vivian Keeble. Laura Mabb. Barry McCarthy. Sharon Millman. Mark Moore. Lisa Morgan. Andrew Murray. Nicola Pandya. Norma Parks. Sarah Pike. Alexander Prophet. Rowlings. Andrew Rao. Elizabeth Rummery. Monica Savulescu. Amanda Shaw. Joanna Smith. Nicola Smith. Patricia Smith. Jodie Smith. South. Sorry. Nicola Terberg. Ellen Waters. Jackie Wattret. Richard Wilmot. Deborah Wilson. William Wright. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts, I present Raisha Bond. Jennifer Ramsey. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts and a foundation degree, I present Tracy Ivanuk. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Social Work with Honours, I present Jeff Ash. Barbara Beadle. Rachel Bolton. Anne Devine. Amanda Gazzard. Katie Haywood. Craig Mitchell. Nikki Smith. For the degree of Bachelor of Engineering with First Class Honours, I present Thomas Webber. For the degree of Bachelors of Engineering with Honours, I present Jamie Bynum. Lee Hagan. And for the degree of Bachelor of Laws with honours, I present Sophie Chapman. Trina Hill. Claire Millard. Louisa Jane Phoenix. And Simon Ridley.
Executive Dean, colleagues, graduates, and guests, Professor Mary Beard is one of the UK's outstanding figures in classical studies. Through her teaching, research, writing, and media presence, she has become a familiar face of classical studies and an inspiring public intellectual. At school, Mary studied Latin and Greek, spending her holidays working on archaeological digs for pocket money. Although admitting to never being much of a swot and with no interest in homework, she must have been doing something right, as she won a place at Newnham College, Cambridge in 1972, at a time when only 6 colleges would let women through their doors. Thriving and surviving in this competitive intellectual environment, she completed her PhD on the state religion in the Roman Republic in 1982. Following a lectureship at King's College London, she returned to Cambridge in 1984, where, for a time, she was the only woman lecturer in the faculty. At Cambridge, she has inspired a generation of students with her teaching of Roman art, history, and archaeology, and written 14 books and numerous articles, becoming in 2004 Professor of Classics. Her interests range widely, always challenging familiar parts of the classical world, as in her books The Colosseum, The Parthenon, The Roman Triumph, and recently SPQR, an international bestseller. Her trademark is the meticulous unraveling of what we think we know, tracing back the evidence to the classical world. An example is her article, The Sexual Status of Vestal Virgins. It should be obvious, but Mary argues that they were ambiguously virgins, matrons, and males. Mary also has another 3 careers. One is as a working mother, producing 2 children and 1 book, The Good Working Mother's Guide. I can recommend it. The second is working as a literary journalist, regularly contributing to the New York Review of Books, the London Review of Books, and as classics editor of the Times Literary Supplement. She has now seized hold of the internet, writing a wickedly subversive commentary on both the modern and the ancient world in her enormously popular blog, A Don's Life, becoming a social media phenomenon, attracting 123,000 followers on Twitter, and I'm expecting a few more after today. Career number 3 has made Mary our best-known classicist. In her words, I am also on a mission. I want people to study ancient history and Latin, to get people and their children who would never consider reading a book about ancient Rome to watch a program about it. On our televisions, Mary's documentaries include Meet the Romans with Mary Beard, Pompeii, New Secrets Revealed, and Ultimate Rome, Empire Without Limit. These have brought her inspiring style and observation from the lecture hall to the small screen. She's a frequent contributor to BBC Radio 4 and Question Time, demonstrating that intellectual life is about having a good argument. As an advocate for the classical world and for female speech and participation in public discourse, she has become a significant role model. In 2013, Mary was honoured with an OBE and the Professorship of Ancient Literature at the Royal Academy of Arts. More recently, she was awarded the Bodley Medal for her outstanding contribution to communication and literature. It is an honour to present one of the most inspiring and humane intellectuals in Britain today. Executive Dean, by the authority of the Senate, I present to you, for the honorary degree of Doctor of the University, Mary Beard.
Thank you very much, Phil. I don't think I recognise myself quite, but it was very nice words that you spoke. Now, it is, of course, an absolutely enormous honour to be here, and a particular pleasure to be in this really amazing place. We've already heard about some of the things that you can see here, but I do want to say that my favourite bit of this cathedral is just up there behind me on my right, and it is the brass bronze tomb of the architect George Basavi, who was the cathedral architect in the 19th century, the early 19th century, and he sadly died because he was up on the roof of this cathedral inspecting it, and he fell to the ground and is commemorated here. And I always think, whenever I get cross with those health and safety notices that you hear at the beginning of every occasion, I think of Basavi falling off the roof of this cathedral. So just remember him and go and have a peek. But of course, it's even more important, I think, for me, to be here with what I think is the Open University family, in a way. The OU must count as probably one of the very few brand new educational initiatives since World War II, and probably before, that is universally agreed to be a huge success. All kinds of other initiatives come and go. Grammar schools, they come back as grammar schools, there's polytechnics, and they're intensely fought over. But not the OU. The OU is something that everybody in this country knows they can be proud of. Now, I feel that in a way I've half lived with the OU. Since my teenage years, I very much remember that when I got a chance to stay up very late in my teens, after watching something I no doubt shouldn't have on the television, eventually it would all turn into something very different at sort of 1 o'clock in the morning, when what I now remember is some rather engaging bearded bloke would appear suddenly on the screen with a sort of retro 60s tie and would start giving a maths lecture. And I remember long before I went to university looking at these lectures and thinking, gosh, so that's what university is all about. So in a way, the OU brought the uni into my home. But ever since then, and I'm rather sad we don't have those very, very late night BBC Two lectures anymore. Since then, I've had lots of friends who've done degrees at the OU. I've had students who have gone on to teach here, including in, let me say, plug here, the wonderful classics department that you have. And my daughter was a postdoc at the OU. So I already feel part of the OU family, but it's particularly nice to become one in this slightly more formal way. Now, I have to say that I don't have a huge amount of experience of degree ceremonies like this, because I was another one who never actually went to my own. One of the kind of lies in my life that I feel most guilty about, I told my mum and dad, neither of whom had degrees, that degree ceremonies were dead and gone. No one went to them any longer, and everybody just got their degrees by post. So I never saw what it was like at my own university, and I felt guilty ever since that I didn't do that and let them come along. But from those that I've seen later, I do get the feeling that there is a kind of standard pattern for what people in my position say. Basically, they feel they have to get up on their feet and say, okay, now, young people, you are going to go out and you're going to get wonderful careers, you're going to be a force for the good, you're going to work hard, you're going to change the world. And this time last week, I was actually in the United States at the American equivalent of a degree ceremony at commencement, and there the young people were told to go out and be troublemakers in the world. Now, of course, you can't say that kind of thing to graduates from the OU, because many, if not most of you, have already had great careers. You've already been forces for the good. You've probably already changed the world, and I hope that some of you have already been troublemakers. I suspect that's true. What just amazes and impresses me is not that you're going to go on to do more of that, but that you've done that while doing a degree or a postgraduate qualification too, in a way that requires, I think, such hard work, such focus, and such single-minded determination that I feel quite humbled by what you do. And that came home very, very strikingly to me, I suppose almost 10 years ago now, when social media was just getting off the ground. And I made then, and I still have, quite a lot of social media friends from the OU. Now, I'm not sure if any of them are here today because I'm never quite sure whether the names they use on Twitter are real names or not, but please introduce yourself afterwards if we're following each other. But back then, back in the day, at the early stages of the Twitter and the blogging, and even in a way, the kind of absolute access to email phenomenon, I made a lot of friends, including one person who was doing a classics MA at the OU. And we had a social media conversation for several weeks about Roman empresses, as it turned out. And she eventually suggested that we might actually continue some of this conversation face to face. Now, I always have a rule that it's important to be available, but perhaps not too available. So I decided that I would suggest a time that was convenient to me, but wasn't looking too eager. So I said, how about you come over to Cambridge on the afternoon of the 31st of December, because that would suit me fine. And I imagined that she would never come. She lived well over 100 miles away. She came, and we ended up talking for a couple of hours at least about images of Roman empresses. And this proved to be a very definitely two-way conversation, because in the course of this, I discovered that she was a retired tax inspector who had quite a lot of good advice for me. When I look back to this, and I say it's almost 10 years ago, I think three things stick in my mind. First, it was breaking one of the most obvious rules of social media that there is, which is never get to meet face to face on your own in an office deserted, on the 31st of December, someone you've only met online, right? So please, I'm saying now, do not try this because we've now got much more wary about that kind of encounter. Nonetheless, I can't help forget it, actually. And I can't help forget it for two reasons. One is that it's simply that sheer, polite, focused determination of the person that I met. We didn't meet again, although we have since by chance met up. She was going to put herself out, and in the end, I was prepared to put myself out, just to come together to talk about her MA, which she eventually got successfully. But it required bravery, guts, and a real willingness to go the extra mile. But also, when I now think about all the ways that you can justify the study of classics, and bad and good reasons go through my head. I mean, I can't tell you how many journalists have rung me up in the last 6 months and said, could I please think of the Roman emperor who was most like Donald Trump? And I usually come up with someone, I'm usually quite naughty, I think, I'll think of an emperor they've never heard of, And then as I put the phone or the email down, I think, I haven't done classics for the last 50 years in order to tell some journalist who the closest emperor to Donald Trump is, when I give them particularly an emperor they've never heard of. What a waste of time is that? I also don't think, really, that much as we would like to find lessons that we could follow in classical antiquity, I don't think that the ancient world, the Greeks or the Romans, provide any lessons for us. What I do think they do is I think by looking at them, we learn in all kinds of different ways to look harder at ourselves. In some way, when I think about that process of looking at the ancient world harder and looking and thinking harder about ourselves, somewhere at the kind of symbolic heart of my image of classics is, as I think back, a picture of two late middle-aged, elderly ladies talking non-stop about Roman empresses, women, they were definitely women, Roman empresses, in a freezing office where the heating had long been turned off on New Year's Eve in Cambridge. It's a totally innocent occasion, but I also think, and what's not to like about it? So, thank you.
Executive Dean, continuing the presentation of graduates, I shall now present those who have gained Bachelor of Science degrees, foundation degrees and diplomas of higher education and have been able to attend here today. The full subject details are printed in the insert within the ceremony programme. So, I present for the degree of Bachelor of Science with First Class Honours, Geoffrey Bedingfield. David Beebe. Chris Bullard. Lilith Cooper. Andy Evans. Karen Hill. Emma McKayan. Gordon Niche. Carrie O'Riordan. Holly Platt Wells. Vanessa Salter. Janet Smith. Aldabra Stoddart. Carlos Uraldi. Stephen Wattam. Lindsay Welsh. Isabel Woodman. For the degree of Bachelor of Science with Honours, I present Joanna Alexander. Tim Allard. Yvonne Alsop. Alan Blacksland. Kimberly Bond. Adrian Briggs. Dorrit Bushman. Colin Campbell. Elizabeth Cargill. Charlotte Cole. Edward Corrigan. Samantha Corrigan. Amanda Dew. Hannah Dolden. Nick Dorr. Rachel Doughty. Deborah Durno. Jason Durrant. Barbara Dye. John Eagles. Jason Emmons. Julie Emson. Elizabeth Erlank. Valerie Folks. Alison Glassett. Heather Goodall. Andrew Gorton. Melanie Grace. Benjamin Hardman. Mark Hodgson. Stephen Murfitt. Sharma Janjwa. Sharon Kilmartin. Helen Manning. Sarah Margree. Helen Matthews. Matthew Jackman. Angel Moon. Duncan Nash. Adam O'Byrne. Andrew O'Byrne. Richard Oakman. Carol Pattison. Mark Parnwell. Anton Peters. Anthony Phillips. Debbie Potts. Simon Pullen. Tom Santry. Sarah Smith. Roman Sterecki. Joanna Teakle. Philip Towers. Stefan Ewell. Sally Wade. Sam Watson. Jackie Wilkinson. Joanna Willis. Neil Wilmore. For the degree of Bachelor of Science, I present Georgina Barber. Michael Bowtell. Lindsay Cottingham. Lisa Gibby. Jennifer Harrod. Mark Hodgson. Lee Skillen. Sarah Thomas. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Adult Nursing, with honours, I present Holly Blanks. Donna Goss. Gemma Hode. Bonnie Jackson. Elizabeth Collins. Poppy Spicer. For a foundation degree, I present Ruth Dickinson. Kaylee Fry. Jacqueline Gibson. Anna Leach. Emily Vincent. And for a Diploma of Higher Education, I present Lawrence Dickens. Alexandra Hepburn. Mary O'Sullivan. David Street. And Stephanie Ward.
Well, I hope you would agree with me that it's been a wonderful afternoon, everyone. Guests, members of Senate, staff, and of course, our wonderful graduates. This has been a very special day for everyone who's here, one to remember for the rest of your lives. It's been a special graduation for me, as it's my first graduation as presiding officer at the Open University, and I really thank you for making it such a special day. It's very interesting to see the looks on faces as people come across the stage. There's definitely a few with blind panic, get me out of here. There's quite a few with, oh, thank God I finally graduated, and lots of very, very happy faces. And of course, from up here, I can also see a lot of the audience faces, the friends and family who are out there. Again, lots of cheering and happy noises, and probably quite a few people thinking, thank God they're not going to do any more OU courses. Although I should warn you that there's been at least one or two people coming across that stage. This is not their first time. They are OU addicts, and I can understand why. So it's been wonderful to hear such inspiring stories from everyone and see such joy on so many faces. Each of you, our graduates, is extraordinary, and together as a body, you are even more extraordinary. I haven't been at the OU very long, but I firmly believe that you are the most amazing body of graduates anywhere in the UK, probably in the world. Today, all of you, your friends and supporters who are around in the cathedral with us today, you are sharing this place, this wonderful space, with some of the most extraordinary people you are ever likely to meet. For family, friends and supporters, you will be well aware of the incredible efforts that your graduate has gone to in achieving these qualifications. But many of you and many of our graduates today won't realise just how diverse our population of students and graduates are, and just what an amazing body of people we're talking about here today. And I'd like just to take a little moment to make a few points about why this really is the most extraordinary body of students you could ever meet. So I'm going to ask the graduates a few questions so that we can all discover a little bit more about you. And if you don't mind, I'd appreciate you raising your hands. So, who out of our graduates today was employed or did voluntary work at some stage during your study? If you could put your hands up, please. That's fantastic. I'm going to ask you to leave them there and we'll keep going. Who helped to bring up a family during their study with the OU? I'm guessing that's going to add even more hands. Who cared for parents or other dependents during their study? A few more hands there. And of course, if you'd rather not, or it's tricky for you in some way, feel free to not put your hand up. But who carried out their studies while registered with a disability? I think it's one of the interesting things about the Open University. The numbers of disabled students studying at the OU are much higher than the show of hands we'd see here. We have over 24,000 disabled students. Not only does the OU have more disabled students than many other universities, it actually has more students with a disability than a lot of universities have whole student body. So I think it's fantastic to see that almost every student here has fulfilled some other obligation alongside studying. And compared to previous institutions where I've worked in conventional face-to-face universities, where extra duties might be the sports team or the bar, your efforts are a lot greater and a lot more complicated. You are all now members of a university that believes that where you start in life shouldn't have any limitations on where you go. I share a frustration with several other members of OU staff over the words that get used to describe Open University students. Conventional students who perhaps go to university in their late teens, early 20s quite often, and stay there for the period of getting their degree are called full-time students. And OU students like you are called part-time students. I don't think part-time really fits what you've been doing for the last few years to achieve these awards. I think it's more like double time with the OU. You have been on a very tough path indeed. However, there is one thing that's even tougher than being an OU student, and that's living with an OU student. Many of you, as you came across the stage today, pointed out friends and family members, and I know that you would probably share that your achievement belongs to them as well. It's their achievement too. So I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge all that fantastic support that you've had as graduates, as students, from friends and family who are here celebrating with you today. They've been by your side every step of the way. And I think it would be a great chance to support them for supporting you. So graduates, you might want to look around and spot your friends and family in the crowd, and let's give the supporters of our OU graduates a fantastic round of applause. And I'd also like to thank that other vital group that has helped to get you here today. The OU is full of wonderful academics, represented by my colleagues here on the platform. Some of them wrote and presented your course, and crucially, some of them were the tutors or associate lecturers who have taught you and helped to get you through. And I hope you will agree that they too are deserving of huge appreciation and a part of what makes the Open University so unique. Colleagues, salutes to you too. Graduates, you are all absolutely special, but you are also special because of the quality of the university that you have just graduated from and the standards that we set. And those standards are ones that we know employers recognise and value. Over 30,000 businesses and organisations in the UK choose the Open University to train their staff. And a government survey found that employers perceive part-time students as hard-working, committed, and requiring discipline. And employers noted that they recognised the importance of supporting employees' study goals and aspirations. So an OU qualification is not just something to be proud of because of the tremendous hard work that you've put into it. It is also something that is well recognised and well respected. I hope that if you are looking for a new job or a promotion following your qualification, as some of you told me earlier that you were, you can remind your employer of just what a high quality degree you have achieved and just what hard work it has been. And for those of you who might be looking for some other things to tell people about the university of which you've been an essential part and are now a graduate, here are a few more facts that I hope you will find useful. In 2013, the Open University led the way again in digital innovation when we set up the UK's first platform for massive open online courses. We launched free learning for people around the world through an initiative called Future Learn. And if you haven't had a look at Future Learn, I urge you to go and have a look at the website. There are some really fascinating and interesting courses on there, all free to learners, or mostly free to learners. And since it was set up, over 5 million learners around the world have used the website and registered for courses. Many of you will be familiar with the Open University's partnership with the BBC. And now as graduates, I'm betting you're going to notice every time it gets to the end of a programme and you see that OU shield at the end in the credits. You can be sure when you see that there will be something extra to learn. There will be resources and information that staff at the OU have contributed into the programme. For instance, the recent documentary Hospital gave an insight into the life and death decisions that doctors and nurses are making every day. The Open University is also doing wonderful work with people who need our help the most. We work with the British Council. We deliver academic programmes to displaced Syrian refugees who have had to leave their homes and who are temporarily settled in Jordan and Lebanon. And of course, as Executive Dean of Science, Technology, Engineering and Maths, I can't resist the opportunity to talk a little bit about some of our scientific research. There's research right across the university, and when we took part in the UK exercise that assesses university research across the sector, it showed that nearly 3/4 of the Open University's research was 4 or 3 star. That means it was rated as either world-leading or internationally excellent. And our research captures the public imagination. Obviously, I've picked a STEM example, but we're particularly proud of our contribution to recent space exploration. Last summer, we were part of an international team that analysed a wobble in space and discovered a new exoplanet orbiting our nearest star, Proxima Centauri. And it looks like the planet may have the right conditions to support life, which could make it one of the most important scientific discoveries of all time. You are a member of a university that is a world leader in technology, in innovation, in helping people to learn, and you will always be a member of this university. The OU is a movement of millions, but it is a mission of one, and each student, each graduate today who's come across the stage has had their own unique journey. Today you join a community of Open University alumni around the world. The OU has been by your side throughout your studies. Today we give you a new commitment to stay with you on your lifelong journey. We'll share with you new opportunities to study. We promise to help you develop your professional career. And as we learn more in your chosen area of study, we promise to share with you our latest research. Our motto is learn and live, and that's something that all our Open University graduates embody as soon as they step back into their busy lives, because we are the people who open up the future of learning. I hope you all continue to learn. You have proven great skills and proven ability. Be confident that you can change the world around you for the better. And you are now a part of this vast network of people who are as extraordinary as you are. Make your voice heard. We have an alumni careers group on LinkedIn that allows you to share your professional experience and make new connections with people who've gone before and people who come after you in their OU journey. Once you've settled down a little bit after graduation, I appreciate plunging back into study is probably not particularly attractive at this point. You might decide to try one of our free online courses on OpenLearn or on FutureLearn. Or maybe after you've had a pause to recover, you might think about continuing with another OU course. And you might already have been congratulated by members of our alumni team. But if you haven't had a chance to meet them yet today, you will hear from them soon. They'll be in touch to tell you all about what our Alumni Association can offer, as well as ways you can give back to your university through our Open Up the Future campaign, which is helping us to open up opportunity and lives for many more people. When you leave today, you become an ambassador for the Open University and all that it stands for. Our values of social justice, equality and education, and for knowledge to be open to all. Share your experiences with others you know. Tell people what it's like to study with the OU, what your OU journey has meant to you, and what it could mean for them. I hope you might have seen our inspiring TV and cinema adverts. I think they bring so vividly to life the trials and jubilation of being an OU student, fitting studying around work, in bed while your partner sleeps next to you, or while jogging in the morning. Not that I would know anything about jogging in the morning, but we know for potential students, no matter how great the inspiring ad might be, a word of recommendation from a graduate is way better than any commercial. You are our best advert, and we hope that you are proud to say, I studied at the Open University. In a moment, the proceedings will end, the ceremonial party will process out, and you'll get a chance to see all the messages and photos that people have been posting or are going to post as we leave. Please do join me, our honorary graduates, and all of the processing party outside so we can congratulate you in person. And I hope that I'll get the chance to have some slightly longer conversations with a few more of you than I managed on the stage. Excuse me. So can I ask one last time for all of our graduates to stand and for everyone here to join me in giving them a huge round of applause. Congratulations. The proceedings of this degree ceremony have now been completed, and I declare this meeting of congregation closed. Would everyone who's able to stand please do so?